When I was 4 years old, I was sitting on the steps in our big blue house in Tiffin, Ohio, and watching my parents fight. In that moment, I thought I was lucky not to be a person like them, because to me, people made everything so much more difficult than it needed to be. Later, when I realized I was a person, I was broken-hearted. Being a person seemed terrible. All my life I have felt like I wasn't human. I never knew what I was, but I felt deeply that I wasn't human. I felt like I was an outsider pretending to be human. As I aged, this sense of otherness led to being picked on and bullied by peers. Adults always seemed horrified by my behavior, and I never understood why. I would try to figure out why everyone was always mad at me, but it didn't make sense. People would say things like I was being difficult or disrespectful, and I didn't know what that meant. I knew what I was doing was wrong, but I failed to understand what would be right. I knew I ate wrong, but the thought of eating what adults wanted me to eat was on par with the thought of eating poop, so the dinner table in my house became a war zone. At school, I was told by teachers and peers that I needed to learn to act right. I was called weird. I was ostracized and left alone, and I struggled to figure out what the normal girls did to gain acceptance. Eventually, I began to study the other children who people accepted more and mimic their behaviors. If you are autistic, you know that this is what we must do to gain acceptance. We must become chameleons. We must mask. Masking is when we suppress certain behaviors autistic people find soothing, but that others think are weird, such as stimming or having intense interests. We attempt to camouflage autistic traits to make neurotypical, someone who is neurologically more like the general population, people, more comfortable. Although females are usually better at this than those assigned male at birth, almost all autistic people do this. I fit the female norm perfectly in this regard. I am adept at masking and can seem almost normal in most social circumstances. However, as you likely experience too, the amount of work that goes into appearing normal is beyond exhausting. If you're like me, while you can copy behavior, you may never understand what normal is. You may watch conversations and their complexities elude you. This can lead to crippling anxiety. For example, I didn't understand how normal people knew what to do with their face and hands in social settings. If I didn't know what to do with them, I would feel like I couldn't breathe. When you are with people, the anxiety may be constant and overwhelming because it is fueled by messages you are always receiving. People may tell you that you talk too much, talk too fast, dress weird, smell weird, move too much, say the wrong thing at the wrong time, don't respond properly to emotional situations, don't listen, fidget. The list goes on.